being a member of the institute and the responsibility of the institute towards the society which has created it and funded it. So as a student, we must remember that even when we are in the institute, we have a social responsibility. And whatever we do in the institute must contribute towards the growth and benefit of the society around you. Of course, when you go out of the institute, social impact really takes on a meaning. And I must say that over the last 20, 25 years, the nature of social impact created by organizations has changed dramatically. I remember in the early days, in the early 90s for us, social impact meant, providing water to the people around the factories or kind of training the children of employees, which over a period of time has changed to what I call bringing about a meaningful change in the society itself. And with the oncoming of the startups, I think social impact has taken on a new meaning altogether. I mean, if you look at organizations like Flipkart and Amazon and so on, whose ability to provide resources is immense, the level of social impact or the kind of impact they can have on society is quite different. So, as an organization today, the government, of course, has imposed or brought about the corporate social responsibility game into play. And so every organization is bound to give back to the society in terms of, through the corporate social responsibility, act. But besides that, I think all organizations and all, employees of the organization, both internally and externally, strive to make a difference to the society around them through number of vehicles and schemes. And that is something which is inbuilt, that is something which the government encourages. And I think as students of IIM, when we go back to the industry, we must carry on with this thought process which has been inculcated in the institute and try to impress on the industry or the corporates we work in to continue with that work and bring about a change. Yeah. The part about governance is much more interesting. I think India, like other countries, has been rocked by scandals at intermittent, at regular intervals. And when we talk about governance in corporate terms, we talk about the nature of the corporate we have built. We are a partnership or a public limited or a private limited company. We are governed by the rules of corporate law as and when they are set up and as and when they change. And to that extent, governance is kind of inbuilt. But having said that, every once in a while we are rocked by scandals because of the weakness of the systems which are prevalent in these companies. Either the internal audit systems, external audit systems, or the legal systems prevalent within the company are not robust enough to take care. And we as individuals must always ensure that the level of governance within a company is of a very high standard or within an industry, because we are handling resources which don't belong to us. We are handling resources which belong to the government, belong to the society, belong to the shareholder at large. And governance becomes a very important tool to ensure that there is sanctity in what we do and what we promise our shareholders and what we promise our employees. Business ethics as a part of governance is also now becoming a very dominant thing as far as industries are concerned. And I know that in IIM Jammu, we have a course on corporate governance and business ethics. And business ethics today is much more an individual subject than a corporate kind of a subject, because each one of us has a role to play in the industry today. And ethics, the way it is taught in the company, or ethics, the way it is practiced within the company, depends on the kind of thought process which is set or the tone which is set by the leadership of the company. I have worked in companies where we were red carded for doing simple things like talking to a competitor. And I have worked in companies where the management totally neglected this factor and, in fact, silently encouraged practices of colluding with competition. So we have gone through all these things, and at the end of it, the learning is you cannot beat the market or beat the industry. You can't be smart enough all the time. So I think as a student of IIM Jammu, right from day one, I think you must be married to the principles of governance and ethics and believe that it is only skills, capability, and competence which would make a difference rather than playing around with the basic fundamentals of these things. So, both in terms of social impact and in terms of corporate governance, the seeds of what we are going to turn out to be or what we are going to do when we join the industry are sold in the institute. And I'm very happy to say that IIM Jammu, especially Professor Sahay, and the entire Board of Governors pays a lot of attention to ensuring that at all points in time, our students are taught about the basics of these things and are properly trained and disciplined enough so that they go out as seasoned corporate individuals or citizens from day one. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Lalitji. Great insight. And I so believe, it starts from the leadership. It starts right from the leadership. And Professor Sahay, of course, is there. I remember when IIM Jammu was mentoring, when IIM Lucknow was mentoring IIM Jammu. Again, I always had this feel whenever we'd walk in, we'd see values, we'd feel values when we'd even talk about, have our meetings, governing body meetings. So this is something that IIMs are taking down to their children. We are taking the importance of social impact down to our generation next to carry on the legacies that we have of making a social impact. And that's something that's really expected of the students of the generation next. Vijay Gambhirji, if we may have your input regarding social impact. And how would you want, what is it that you specifically want IIM Jammu to carry on to make an impact with corporate governance? Do we have Vijayji with us?
I'm not sure whether Vijay has joined or not.
I'm so sorry. Mr. Vijay is not present.
Okay, so Dipen, your input to, and especially coming from a corporate that you are. So what is it that you would want from, IIM students when you get them in your organization?
Thank you, and it's a great opportunity to be here amongst all. Let me step into the shoes now of a sponsor first. Whether it is a government body or whether it is a private setup. Whenever there is an intent or an act which is going to probably show out in the form of a policy or a plan or a development program or a project, it calls for a 360-degree appraisal, the first thing. And I think the outcome is the most important point which calls for this appraisal. And I think it is desirable, a little desirable. I would dare use the word undesirable, because whenever an act is done, it is always done from a desirability perspective. So the degrees of desirability across the segments is something which is always right behind the sponsor from an impact perspective. And where an organization or where the overall efforts are required are largely from research and analysis to begin with, policy advocacy to back the research and thought, and an added thought leadership. So for people to believe in the message which is going out after significant amount of research. And then comes the second part, which is largely to do the implementation part, and play as a hand-holding advisor or a consulting, guide within the journey. And lastly, to see it translate, because we can talk about programs, we can design them, but eventually what counts is what do we have on the ground? What is the gap? Is there a gap, or were we able to achieve or more than achieve in terms of what we had set ourselves out for? So this put across is something which I would probably coin in terms of a single word, which is called committed, or committed efforts, commitment. So this is what is expected whenever we have, the entire cycle of social impact and its follow-up, and from an organization or where I come from, or from a consultant's hat, I think the door is absolutely open for everyone who is aspiring, to go and make it big within the corporate world, to pick any of these areas, right from research to a thought leadership to a policy advocacy with time ahead, and playing a very important role in implementation and ensuring that the measures and the course correction happen, so that we always are achieving what we have set ourselves for, is something for the students here to take away. And this is what will basically help them develop. You just need to pick out what I would say probably all 5 stages or 6 stages, but these are the places where there is a humongous demand, from, as I said, either from a government sector or from a private sector. They need handholding support. They have a mission in mind. Their intentions are right, but the whole aspect is handholding at these various stages, And as we mentioned, Mr. Nayak mentioned about the red cards and the entire journey that he's seen through from different stages within the organization. I think even today in a country like ours, ethics is being taught. We want to reach a stage of capability and maturity where ethics is not a subject which is taught. It probably soaks in, it sinks in, and everyone plays from a standard and plays much above in terms of ethics. So uh, we are the ones who would probably, over a period of time, take it to a level where ethics becomes a subject only to add from here onwards. And that is where responsibility was spoken about. I think accountability is another aspect which comes in, which completes the entire circle of governance, by means of right matrices, right monitoring progress mechanisms to ensure that the circle is complete. So that is where I again would want to probably suture it back in terms of opportunities. Dedicated programs already being run. I am following IIMJ for the past 6 months now, and I have literally fallen in love with the organization. Of course, legacy IIM, but something which keeps me hooked on, to every aspect, and I want to learn more every single time whenever I have a conversation. So, having a subject on business ethics is the right way, but I am very certain with the times ahead, the students of this institution will take it to the next level when we talk about ethics, and I think their actions will speak louder. So that is where I probably put it to the rest, and look forward to my fellow peers also.
Thank you, Dipen. And the takeaway for all the students and everybody listening over here is opportunity, commitment, accountability. These words are small, but they mean the world. They can take you ahead. They can make you march on. They can give you success. Accountability, self-accountability is the most important thing that we should look for. Why should people check on our accountability? Why should we not be accountable to ourselves? And this is something, that's taken. See, I'm not an IIM graduate, right? So the first thing is I do not know your DNA. But what I know is commitment and accountability to what you are doing, to your own actions takes you ahead. Business is never easy. And so is professional life. But these are little words that mean the world when you want to march on, when you want to achieve success. So we have Sameer Narangi with us.
I just wanted to take 30 seconds here.
Sure, Dipen.
Waiting for a regulatory body or a regulation to probably take control is the last thing that anybody wants, in a free economy. So waiting for us to get regulated is probably the red card that Mr. Nayak spoke of. So let's try and ensure that there is little regulation, and the internal, grooming and developing of ethics is at such a level that we probably live in a very, very minimalized, regulated environment. Thank you for the time.
Thank you, Dipen. And amen to you expecting our IIM students to be leaders in the near future. Amen to that wish of yours, Dipenji. Moving on, Sameer Narangi, your take as a government body. You are the master in the government sector in the PSUs. So, Sameerji, your take as to the importance of social impact for our students at IIM Jammu, and what is it that will benefit them the most?
First of all, good afternoon, Thank you for having me over. I hope I'm audible.
Yeah, you are.
So thank you. So I think from an overall perspective, I'll step back a little and then talk about from a government standpoint. So when I was doing my Master's in Business Administration from Indian School of Business, the first 2 or 3 days we spent on these team building activities. And the most important element of those 3 days that I remember is the activities all embodied one factor, which was trust. Can you trust your colleagues in the college? Can you trust?
Excuse me, Samir sir.
Sorry.
Sir, your audio is, I think, a little low. Could you just increase it?
Okay. Is this better?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So the most important element was the factor of building trust among the colleagues, between the professors and the students. And for those exercises were done in which one understood why it is important to believe in each other and work with each other. And that actually is the single most important element as we head into any activity, be it government, be it business, be it government body. Can the junior person trust his supervisor, and can the supervisor trust the junior person to get the work done? Can we work together in an environment of trust? And that sets the pace for making any social or governance change and the underlying seed of doing that. So to give you an example, you can be, if you look at a pack of wolves or dogs who go through a snowy a snowy pack, right? So the fastest dog who's kept at the front is as good as the slowest dog at the last, who's at the last end of the other trail. So you are as good as the slowest person in your team or in your organization. And that's what matters. So when we are looking at the entity, we have approximately 14 crore customers with the bank. So we are as good as the customer service being done at the lowest level, which is at a branch or a BC level. So getting them to improve governance or customer service becomes the most important element of ensuring that you have the right that you have to have the right governance and the right framework, that people at the lowest level understand how to deliver things on time and how to deliver it the right way. And I believe that students today and the education institutions have never had it better. The extent of digitization that is available today, you won't believe it, ma'am. Earlier, it used to take us 3 to 4 days to open a bank account. Now you can do it in 30 minutes.
Absolutely.
Drop into a branch, you can do it in 30 minutes and no other paperwork required. And your checkbook is delivered to you there and then. And your debit card, credit card obviously takes some more time because of credit checks, but debit card is also delivered to you there and then. So
absolutely,
I think the impact from a social and a governance standpoint that can be made today, it couldn't have been made ever in the previous generations. This is a leap change. Sadly, there is a pandemic, but it has also led to I think, leapfrogging in terms of one generation in terms of digitization, what we are seeing today. The government was trying in terms of formalizing the economy, in terms of digitization. I think what we have achieved in the last 18 months or 16 months is a very, very deep and big impact. A lot of businesses in India are getting incubated in terms of making an impact that couldn't have been made in the last generation or 2 generations. We have entrepreneurs who are at the age of 30, 35. So you are looking at a very, very different generation, a very, very different impact. And if you have a very scalable business idea, the banks are there to fund you. The entire machinery is ready. It's just about launching that idea, having the right set of team, and then comes the all important element of trust again. Can you trust your colleagues? Can you trust everybody to take it forward? So I think that is where the ecosystem is getting built in the country. We are looking at young entrepreneurs. We are looking at a government which is very supportive, and the ecosystem, be it from Silicon Valley all the way to Bangalore, is very, very supportive. So, and we have the right skill sets in this country. And I think IIM Jammu is placed right in the middle of this ecosystem now, and it's ready to mushroom these students who are coming, joining these new businesses, incubating them. Some of my classmates have actually incubated businesses. One of the businesses actually has got $1 billion valuation. So, and it's just 10 years. So my point is that right now, what can be achieved in the next 5 or 10 years is very different from what we have done. So all the best to the students. And I think you're doing a wonderful job. And I think we'll see a lot of leaders coming out who will make a lot of difference from a societal standpoint and a governance standpoint. Thank you.
Thank you, Samirji. And one word that you take away is you trust, and you create a group of people that work together and that make that social change happen. So, coming from a PSU expert, it's very strange, Samirji. But with private companies, trust comes first. But coming from a PSU itself is credible. Thank you so much. Okay, so Rajat, because you are the other side, so it's so important to know exactly what is it that is happening and what is it that we can do better in order to take the flagship of making that big social impact in India or anywhere in the world ahead with our students at IIMs. So Rajat, over to you for the other side of the story that you build our students with.
Sure. Thank you, Jaya ma'am. And it is again good to see you after like almost 3 years. And also
Same here.
Good to see Sushmita. Thank you, Professor Sahay, for inviting me for this panel discussion. And I congratulate IIM Jammu to complete 5 years with that strength. I think within 5 years, IIM Jammu has already gone leaps and bounds, because I know the kind of.
Rajat, you were a brick in building this up. Rajat, we can't hear you.
And the kind of that has, can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you now. Yeah, Rajat, audible now.
Can you hear me now?
No, the signal is going away. So the first thing that I can talk about is build entrepreneurship. Yeah, Rajat, you're coming and you're going. So the first thing you need.
I know. I don't know what is happening today. The network seems to be a problem. Yeah. I am Ahmedabad,
So what you need to do is you need to build entrepreneurship to give excellent network to our students to take it ahead. This is something, Rajat, that you have to.
Yeah. So I think now if you can hear me and.
Yeah.
Then I can continue. It was a bit strange because I'm a marketing faculty and digital marketing expert. So, but talking on social impact and governance from students' point of view, from an institution point of view, a business school point of view, basically that was one of the major reasons why IIMs were built up, to create social impact and help the local society, local culture, local businesses to develop competencies to compete in India and across the world. So taking from that point of view, and with respect to my own experience of almost now a decade in academics as a faculty, so I will talk from two major stakeholders' point of view. One is faculty and another is students in the institution of business school. And of course, the first thing they have to do is to understand the gaps in the local societies, in the state, and within the different stakeholders around that business school, what kind of gaps really exist which they can work on. So identify those gaps, and then once you identify those gaps, then the next step is to how you can add value as a faculty, as students. So maybe you can create some kind of linkages. Maybe you can work on certain projects. So create some kind of projects for government, for local industry, right? Do that kind of research, because I know a lot of faculty, my colleagues at IIM Ahmedabad, for example, are working with local organizations, local, industry. And can you hear me now? Am I audible again?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So with respect to all that, what I was about to speak in the last 20 minutes, I thought maybe I can create a small presentation. I'll show a slide presentation because I was just writing. So what I was supposed to talk. If you can see it for the students also. Is it visible?
Yes.
Is it like social impact? Can you see it?
Yeah.
Okay, because I can't see. If it is visible, can you see it? The social impact at the center?
Yeah.
And these are the kind of gaps which I thought of maybe existing. For example, technology gap for the
Rajat, your
skill
voice.
gaps, sustainable in the collaborations, linkages and the collaborations, and kind of a marketing gap, right? What kind of activities we can do? So faculty can do research, their projects, student club activities can be oriented towards working around fulfilling these gaps. Industry projects can be conducted, government projects can be conducted. There could be some courses, some education, some skill-based education can be created in the organization from IIM Jammu, which can help these. And of course, there are centers of excellence. For example, IIM Jammu has come up with a center called Anandam. It's a very interesting concept, right? Which can help create joyness and happiness within the organization, within the society. Now that's what you can do. But this cannot be done unless we can work on the governance part, because governance part remains a kind of issue for us. Why I'm saying that? Because even at IIM Ahmedabad, we feel a lot of hurdles in conducting all this. Why? I added those circles also. So from governance, we have to work on, for example, incentives and credits. So faculty doing research on social impact, for example, there are no specific incentives given. There is funding, there is specific little funding given to faculty, for example, to do such projects. But if you talk about their promotions or their the kind of incentives in terms of monetary incentives also, on both sides, there are no incentives designed for social impact studies. So maybe they can be integrated. Similarly, for students, there are no specific credits can be given. So they can be added to the coursework. The credits could be added to the coursework. Then we have to work on systems and structures. Well, other panel members have spoken about, they have been talking about system and structure. So I think that needs to be placed. Institutionalizing the activities. Maybe if we do it once a year or twice a year, then it can become a trend, routine for the coming years. So you need to institutionalize it. Then create linkages. Somebody has to go to government, somebody has to go to local societies to create that linkages. That should be part of governance. Then create content. Maybe we can write case studies. Maybe we can write some kind of papers, some kind of content which can help later on other members within the organization, also outside the organization. And finally, of course, we have to done some infrastructure, create infrastructure, hard infrastructure, soft infrastructure, training programs. I think social impact is at the center, and governance, covering it from the sides. This is integration is what we need for or from IIM Jammu. Yeah, I'm sorry for the internet today.
Thank you, Rajat. And just one statement there: once a teacher, always a teacher. So Rajat has taught all of us also today. Okay, thanks, Rajat. And This is, I'm sure IIM Jammu is going to take your input regarding the credits for students and the faculty as well to build upon what we can. Yeah, now we're back on the screen. So in order to build up, more activities on social impact, that will, be motivating for the faculty and the students both ways. And it is the gaps that we need fulfilled, and we have Rajat there for that. And we have many more like Rajat building India up. So thank you, Rajat. Okay, moving on. Sushmita, what is it that you learned specifically while being at IIM Jammu that that you imbibed in and that you took ahead to make a social impact? And did you use governance in order to make that happen right? So did you get my questions right?
Yeah, I got your question right. So first of all, I want to tell you, Jaya ma'am, I was very super excited to see your name in the moderator name when I saw the panelist, and it was absolutely a pleasure, and I'm privileged to be in this panel along with all the other panelists. Thank you. Am I audible?
Yeah, you are. Absolutely.
Okay, great. So of course, IIM Jammu has come a long way. I would like to tell a small thing about IIM Jammu. So when I first joined FIS in the business and strategy team, during the initial meetings, there were questions like, "Oh, okay," I introduce myself, and they'll be like, "Oh, do we have an IIM in Jammu?" So that was the first kind of questions that we had, because we are one of the initial batches of IIM Jammu. And today, the same managers would ask that question. They come back to us. Even there are other people from various IIMs, and they're like, "We would want to really hire from your IIM." So, and I'm sure this is the same story from almost all the students wherever our candidates are there working. IIM Jammu has created a mark. Our students, our candidates, all the graduates, they have created a mark wherever they are. And I'm super proud that IIM Jammu is celebrating its 5 years today. And congratulations to everyone in the institute. That's the first thing that I want to say. Now, going to your question, creating a social impact. So I would want to put myself in the shoes of the students who are going to join an institute like ours. So when I think about that, when students are applying to institutes, there are more factors than, say, academics, arts, or sports, or networking, or say a TEDx event, or more than all those kind of events. Nowadays, students are considering the social impact that these institutions can create. Of course, everyone want to attend a school that they can feel good about, one that invests in community, support the environment stability, and of course, create social impact. Because why do we want to do it? Because it's always a win-win for the students as well as the society. Because for students, they are able to hone their leadership skills, they are able to improve themselves, and at the same time, the society is able to benefit out of it, benefit in multiple ways, and impact is being created. So, two words that I would like to highlight is inclusion and social relevance. So, this is very important in addition to any kind of academic excellence for any institution, because today, if you look at it, institutions and colleges, they're ranked upon the positive impact scores. Companies or corporates, they are ranked upon the ESG. How good they are doing. When we are considering some projects, we are thinking about IIM, or that is investment impact model. How much is the social impact that a project can create, and the economic, of course, the economic impact as well. So everywhere, social impact is being analyzed, being measured, being judged. So it's very important that we consider it with high priority. Now, going back to my IIM Jammu life, so along with Jaya ma'am, I founded the entrepreneurship cell. All thanks to her, she supported us throughout the entire time. We were able to talk to multiple women entrepreneurs in Jammu and Kashmir, and it was such a happy moment. Last week, I went back to IIM Jammu, and when I was talking with the shopkeepers, everyone remembers us even now. And I feel the happiness that we see in their faces when we go back, when we talk to them. That is absolutely beautiful. And any school becomes transforming when the students or when the people at that place, the faculty, staff, students, everyone create an impact around the entire place, the entire locality. It's not just the institute. So we can do much beyond the borders of our campus. That is something which Jem has taught me. She's always been an inspiration for me since the first day. And another thing that I would like to tell is about a word that she told during one of her lectures, which is the importance of having an entrepreneurial attitude in whatever you do. It's not always about being an entrepreneur. Wherever you are, whatever we're doing, it's always about showing that ownership, that accountability, being that entrepreneur inside you to ensure that whatever we are doing is good. We're doing it with a vision, and then the strategy execution will fall in place. So that is always my learning from IIM Jammu, which I still take in my company. And I believe everything is going good. And I'm so thankful to all the mentors in my college as well as in my company, because all of them have supported really well. That's about the social impact. Going to the governance, working in a financial services technology firm, I've always been hearing the word governance every single day. And I've been seeing penalties and risks associated with various banks and RBI in multiple ways. So it is very important that we have a structure in place, we have a system in place, and everyone has a trust while they work. So for that, governance is equally important to create that good impact that we want to have. So to conclude, at IIM Jammu, what we need to do is we need to infuse a culture inside the organization where we have a purpose, where we have enthusiasm to do something really good for the society, ensuring that we are creating a sustainable campus, a culture, and also good governance. So that's from me. Thank you.
Thank you, Sushmita. It's always a pleasure to see your students doing well. A born leader, all the best. Continue doing what you are. And you took a lot of words from what Dipenji shared. You spoke about commitment. That's very, very important wherever you are. Ownership. I'm opening a question to anybody who wishes to answer this. How can B schools have a better social impact and play its part in public policy? The role of an educational institution and making a difference, taking it to the policy making level. So anybody who would wish to answer this? Yeah, Dipenji first, and then we'll have Rajat.
Sure, I'll take it up. I think policy advocacy rests on two fundamental pillars. One is credibility, and the amount of legwork or the fact finding which is done. So I think for an organization which is stands for social impact, as our friend Rajat mentioned, IIM stands for bringing that social impact. So the credibility is already there. I think the second important aspect which one needs to be thorough about is the fact finding, which will put a lot of impetus and thrust when a policy is being advocated. On what grounds is it being put forth strongly in terms of the facts, and which makes it a viable proposition is something that I would probably conclude on these two aspects. So whenever there is a policy advocacy or a thought leadership which goes out, these are the two aspects which one focuses and will be tested upon.
Thanks, Dipen. I would want to share something over here. Like, we are a not-for-profit organization that I represent the Women's Cell for, by the name of Integrated Association of Micro, Small, Medium Enterprises, and the acronym is IMSME of India. Now, we worked towards, we just went on working with full commitment till the time the government realized they will not take a step into the micro, small, medium sector till the time in policy making, till the time they do not get back in touch with us, till the time they do not have our take into that. So we were small. We were very, very small. We worked committedly towards the betterment of micro, small, medium enterprises. And slowly and steadily, the government saw us as strong partners for building the MSME sector. And today, we become, a part of the policy making team for the micro, small, medium enterprises. Now, copying this, it becomes so much easier for any educational institution to get into the advocacy phase. It's about what you do, how you do, and how long do you do it. How committedly do you continue doing it, that institution becomes a part, when people will get back and the government will get back and say, we need to get back in touch with IIM Jammu and check as to, what is it, how is it that we can build more in Srinagar? What is it that we can do with the skill center there to bring inclusion along for the Srinagar people there? So this was my take. Rajat, yours now.
Okay, so having worked with a few ministries like Ministry of Consumer Affairs, Ministry of Rural, and also Railways, my experience of working with the ministries and also in policy creation is that, so the thing is, nobody is going to come to you. So effort has to be made continuously from the institute. So it has to be professors and the institute which has to lead it. Reach out to them. There are certain opportunities, and even government.
Rajat, your voice.
They need mentioning this is very embarrassing. But I know it was a problem. So I'm saying there, for example, when I worked with the government, so we went to them, we went with the projects, we went with the proposals. Once that was done, and government also realized that we can contribute through our expertise, through our teams. Once you get those, then you have to build teams in the organization, in the institute. Build teams which is research team. There are a lot of people who are postgraduates, PhDs, who need these kind of opportunities. You get them to work for these projects, for these policy interventions, and then you start doing it, and then others will follow. I think that is what is required from the institute and the faculty, and create a team. Think from in that direction, so you can do it.
Absolutely. This is how we build IIM SME of India, and this is how we can build any team up. Moving on. Lalitji, this question is specifically for you. How can these schools align themselves with SDGs, with the sustainable development goals that we have?
The issue of sustainability and the sustainable development goals and the related matters, these are now becoming integral to every discussion. It doesn't matter what that discussion relates to, whether it is productivity or policy or whatever it is. But from my point of view, I think answering the question first about influencing public policy, which also would then lead to influencing our capability to develop or participate in developing sustainable development goals. I think as an institute, we have our own boundaries and our own what I call domains. And I must say that IIM Jammu, in whatever way, is trying to reach out to policymakers within the state in terms of education, in terms of what they can do for skill development, in terms of bringing in equality, in terms of spreading what I call ideas of growth to remote areas and union territories like Leh, Ladakh, and so on. So clearly, the institute is seen as one of the instrumental agencies in bringing about a change in terms of government's policy in these areas. When we talk about public policy, we need not really talk about overarching central government kind of goals, but even in a limited way, what are the policy objectives in these surrounding, geographically and politically very sensitive areas? IIM Jammu has been kind of playing an active role in bringing about a thought process or change in thought process of the government. And I must say, even today, we had the Minister of State, and we regularly have people from the political circles participating in our programs and lending their might to whatever we wish to do in terms of entrepreneurship, in terms of setting up development centers, so whatever it is. So I strongly believe that even a fledgling or a new institute like IIM Jammu has the ability to influence public policy. And of course, it depends on individuals, but I think there is a general setup being created across states, especially in Jammu and Kashmir, where institutions of repute can participate in policy making through interactions with the right kind of officials. You already know that we have these gentlemen from these units present on our board and helping us throughout. So that was one. As far as sustainable development goals are concerned, I think we still have a way to go. I mean, the concept of sustainability is esoteric at all times, and in the current times, when I talk to people, I get different views on sustainability. But I think everything is pointing towards one direction where people believe that this is what sustainability means, and it's a common definition where the least amount of wastage and the best in terms of what we can deliver in terms of regeneration and self-development and stuff like this. So I think as an institute, as a member of the board of governors, we have been focusing on the concept of sustainability and focusing on sustainable development goals. And I must add over here that Professor Sahay, in all his talks, he always prefaces it with what can we do to be, sustainable and not really depend on something or the other. So I must end my talk by saying that it is of priority to us, and IIM Jammu has been what I call, imparted the credibility by the government to participate in public policy and also to participate in creating, anything which they do to address the issue of sustainability around that particular subject, whether it is a state matter or a student matter. Thank you.
Thank you. And it's such a pleasure to interact with you, Lalitji, and knowing about the insight that IIM Jammu is into now, because it's been a while since I got into the discussions. So it's a pleasure to know about how you're working on now. Thank you so much, Lalitji. Sameerji, your last take a minute about what would you suggest, what would you advise IIM Jammu and the students and the faculty to do in order to build SDGs?
Ma'am, my suggestion would be that one of the ways could be building a center of excellence. You can actually partner with some corporate to set up, say, a chair or a center of excellence. For instance, in ISB, we had the Vadhwani Center of Excellence.
Great.
So,
and
yes. So, ma'am, that's one of the ways to start it. If it's already there, for instance, then, we can invest more resources in that setup to ensure that that is doing research or bringing world quality ideas on the table. You are able to interact with the leading voices. For instance, climate change is one of the most important subjects in the world right now. And that could be a leading area because world needs to be net carbon zero by 2050. Some of the European economies want to do it by 2040 or 2035. US wants to accelerate that phase. So these are some of the areas where sustainability is the buzzword. Even the foreign investors, when they are investing in Indian companies, they look at the ESG perspective, the ESG index and scoring, and then only look at future investments. So my sense is that it is an important element, and the way is to build research around it, the way is to build leadership around it, and you need to get best ideas on the table. So whatever works for doing that, one of the ways is obviously building a center of excellence and then incubating it and getting the research and funding both from private sector and from public sector and bringing that thought leadership.
Thank you so much, Samirji. IIM Jammu already has a skill center at Srinagar, building on that. And Lalitji, I must make a mention over here that we, with our Akshay Swajjal water vending machines, have just ventured into Ladakh. So
All right.
Ladakh
Okay.
today is an area for us where we have a very strong presence. And we'd be very happy to have entrepreneurship built there with our machines. Though it's a government project, but we can take technical, we can give technical support. We can teach people the technical aspects of the units and how do we run it in case if anybody in lay wishes to be a part of it. So we
No,
have.
I think you should get in touch with I think the professor who leads the
Lalitji, I
entrepreneurship
missed what
development.
you said.
No, I said you must get in touch with our professor Mukbil Buran, who I think runs the entrepreneurship development initiative. And I think we would be glad at the board level to encourage any entrepreneurial initiative or any social impact initiative, especially in Ladakh. It's becoming an area of focus for us.
Absolutely.
If you are able to drop a small note to Professor Sahay.
I will. I'm sure Professor Sahay will do the needful there because he knows, how exactly how we can make a difference there. And over here we are at the end of it. Sushmita, over here is an opportunity for you to give the vote of thanks to everybody on the panel today. So Sushmita, it's over to you.
Yeah, thank you. So it has been a great pleasure to be in this panel and to everyone who told very good points regarding, say, commitment, trust, social impact, creating that value for people. It's all very important for our students to actually learn while they are in the school, because once you get out, you're facing the reality. So today you can make mistakes, you can try out things, you can do new initiatives. Maybe tomorrow you might be having some consequences to what you're doing. So try out everything that you really want to do while you are at the institute, because you always stand a chance to get corrected by very good leaders, top people, good professors, good faculty, and you have all these people across the industry who's ready and willing to support you. But while they are your bosses, they might not really support it. So go ahead, do things that you want to do so that you can be better leaders for tomorrow. You've learned whatever you're learning in the institution, learn that well, but always ensure that you are becoming a leader. So that's very important. With that, social impact and governance, very important topic. I'm sure you'll all learn in the college. And yeah, thank you all the panelists, and thank you Jayamam for beautifully moderating it as always. Thanks to the director V. Sahay and the entire organizing team for this beautiful event.
Thank you, Sushmita, and over to the IIM Jammu team. Back to the host.
Yeah, good evening, esteemed panel members. Jaya ma'am, actually, it was me who was briefed to propose a vote of thanks, but the opportunity went to Sushmita. And I'm happy about that because inadvertently, it reflected the philosophy that we follow at IIM Jammu, that we would like our students, so what if they have become alumnus, to take the lead and leave only the bare essential for the faculty members. So that was a happy accident. Now, so Sushmita has already thanked, and I, on behalf of IIM Jammu, would like to also extend our sincere thanks to all the esteemed panel members, and on my own behalf, to all the esteemed panel members for sparing time and contributing so meaningfully to this panel discussion and touching upon as relevant a thought and a theme as social impact. Now, since Sushmita has already proposed a detailed vote of thanks, so I may take a few minutes just to summarize the discussion that has taken place today. But before getting into that, Jaya ma'am, I would like to address one sort of point that you raised about your presence in Ladakh. So I think you will be very happy to note that we have plans. We already have an off-campus in Srinagar, and we have plans to set up an off-campus in Ladakh region also.
Wow. Congratulations.
Thank you, ma'am.
Excellent. Excellent.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. And Lalit sir has mentioned about sustainable development goals. Now, I may take this opportunity, ma'am. The United Nations in 2014 gave these 17 SDGs, and but there is a remarkable thing about year 2020, 20, right? And that is after about 6 years after Sustainable Development Goals were published, 2020 onwards is being called a decade of action for SDGs. So no more discussion on the concept of SDGs. Now
Absolutely.
the UN wants the world to take action and maybe by 2030 reach all the goals. Now, just for the sake of information for the esteemed panel, so I'll take at least 6 SDGs prescribed by the UN, which I, in my tenure at IIM Jammu, have found that we are deeply married to this concept. So, for example, obviously the Sustainable Development Goal number 4, that is about quality education. So I don't think I need to elaborate on that, right from the selection of the faculty members to creating an ambience where quality education thrives. IIM Jammu is totally committed to SDG 4. SDG 3 is all about the well-being and health. So, ma'am, I mean, health, of course, is a priority, but at the same time, we have taken a formal step in creating a center for happiness, which is so important to well-being of any organization. I think it's the first center for happiness for any of the IIMs. So we
I
take
just heard about it, and I was so happy when I heard about it from Lalitji about Anandam.
Yes, ma'am. And then SDG 5 talks about gender equality. So director has already talked about how hard we try to improve the diversity at the institute, and our efforts are bearing fruit, and we can now boast of having a very good diversity at all levels. And we are hoping to reach the goal of having 33% of females in all walks of IIM Jammu. The SDG 8 talks about decent work and economic growth. So the working conditions at IIM Jammu and the way employees are incentivized for all the activities which are important for the well-being of the organization and growth of the organization, that is another testimony that we are committed to this goal. So, I mean, these are some of the instances I wanted to narrate why and how IIM Jammu is already committed. But yes, there's a long way to go. There are 17 goals. We'll be trying harder. And as sir was talking about, I think one of the key insights that I took from the discussions was, being meaningful for the immediate local society as well. I think Rajat ji had been talking about it, and he gave us a visually appealing and intellectually stimulating slide also. So that was a very nice framework. I think having said that, I once again thank all the esteemed panel members for their valuable time and deep insights. We look forward to seeing you again in one of our events. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you to all the panelists and the audience. We'll be starting with the valedictory session shortly. So we'll be taking a break of 5 minutes and we'll be starting shortly. Hello, everyone. It was truly an illuminating day, filled with thought-provoking insights. We feel proud and privileged to be associated with Indian Institute of Management Jammu. Now, as our special event draws to a close, I would like to request the Director of IIM Jammu, Professor B.S. Sahay, to say a few words. I would like to request everyone to please remain silent as our panelists will be joining shortly and we'll be starting with the valedictory session. Thank you.
Everyone is requested to please maintain silence. We'll be starting shortly. I hope you enjoyed the celebrations. It's wonderful that we have been on the campus to celebrate such a marvelous event. You have enjoyed the session.
Good evening, everyone. It was truly an illuminating day filled with thought-provoking insights. We feel proud and privileged to be associated with Indian Institute of Management Jammu. Now, as a special event draws to a close, I would like to request our Honorable Director, Sir, Professor B.S. Sahay, to please say a few words.
Coming? Okay, respected CMA Biswaru Basuji, President, Institute of Cost Accounts of India. My colleague, Colonel ML Sharma. It's nice to see you, Sharma ji, here.
Thank you, sir.
CS Nagendra Rao is going to join soon, so we'll not. Okay, and CS Devendra Deshpande ji, he's also going to join. Fine. Since morning, we are discussing that we have completed 5 years. So after 5 years, what happens that we put in the school? From kindergarten, we have been promoted to now middle school. It's really, I must tell you that it's a really great learning for me particularly. All of those who are watching mobile, please switch off your mobile, keep it in your pocket, or you can leave the room. You have a choice. Okay? And I don't want to have any murmuring from backside. So if anybody has anything, please leave the room immediately. celebrating 5 years of any institute, I fully agree with the Honorable Minister when he said this thing, that it is not a very long period, but it is a way to rejuvenate, reflect back how far we have reached. It's a very small journey. It gives you an opportunity to celebrate. And celebration in life is very much important. How small or how big may be, we must celebrate. And that is a learning for all of us. Each and every speaker, minister, chairman, previous chairman, board members, all distinguished invitees, our faculty colleagues, everybody, alumni, old professors, old associations, everybody spoke so nicely about how and what IIM Jammu is doing. But I think that that is not enough. It is just the beginning. It's the first step. Because a lot of challenges are ahead. And we have to be ready to face those challenges. We have set our goal very high. So it's really important to reflect that. Since morning, I was sitting through almost all sessions. Many good suggestions came. That is, IIM Jammu, what IIM Jammu should be doing. An idea of inviting all these people was very simple. That we never believed in moving Ekla Chalo. It's a collective journey. We must move collectively, whether it is student, whether it is faculty, whether it is board, whether it is all stakeholders, recruiters, all partners, whether national partner, international partner, anybody is there. So it's a collective journey. And when you move together, you really enjoy. It's really, you enjoy it. Many times, like say, almost we work for 7 days a week, 365 days a year, without any break. Can you believe that I talk to faculty members in the night at 1 o'clock? 11 o'clock is a very normal time because many a time our meeting has started at 11 o'clock. Even last evening, last night when we were talking, so Dr. Burhan was here till late night. Because Javir was working on some PPT. I was working on my own speech, how we are going to do and all these things. Somebody asked me long back, what motivates you to work so hard? And let me tell you, for all, one and all, when you work, you enjoy it. But that feeling should come from within. It is not like you're working for somebody else. I always say that I'm not working. I've not worked till now. I'm here because I like it. And if you're not passionate about something, better don't do it. Leave that job. Leave that activity. Leave that course. Doesn't matter. Quite possible. Some alternate arrangements are there. Some alternate things are there. So what I would like to say this thing that whatever you do, because for doing anything, some degree of madness is required. एक जुनून चाहिए होता है, एक दीवानगी चाहिए होती है. हम करेंगे. We will do it. Nothing is impossible on this planet. Always remember that. God has given everything. Now, how we utilize that depends on all of us. So when you work more, you don't get tired. In fact, you get more energy. You derive more energy. And I keep telling to everybody, and all my colleagues, they are really working very hard. And I do expect from young generation, particularly students, it's your function, enjoy it, contribute it. Nobody is going to remind you. It's a family. It's a small family, extended family. Dickens Associate Dean was talking about that there are 66,000 students in that university. Imagine students don't get chance even to meet or see Vice Chancellor or Pro-Vice Chancellor or down the line people or even deans. Here you have access to everybody, from director down the line. If you want to meet, you can meet anybody. So it's your function. Always remember, wherever you go, you must give your best. And that is what is important. And if you work hard, you really enjoy. At the end of the day, when you go and sleep, you feel that, yes, today was a productive day for me. And I was learning a lot of things when all these speakers were talking about. We have noted down many things that what we are going to do. What is the road ahead? Because all of you must be curious to know about that. What is going to, because after 5 years, what we are going to do in coming 5 years or 10 years down the line? Our highest priority as on date is that next year we must be moving to our new campus. It is the highest priority for all of us. Because when you stay on campus, campus life is totally different. Particularly when faculty members, staff, students, everybody stay together. You find a different type of environment there. Very congenial environment, very positive environment. So our first priority is that we would like to move our permanent campus as early as possible. As I was telling that we would like that our academic season should start next year in our new campus. We have started 4 programs, and in years to come, in months to come, we are going to announce many more programs. But what is important is that these 4 programs we must try to consolidate. What new innovation is required in our MBA program? We keep revising course curricula, we keep revising content. But what is important is that course structure, course curricula should be abreast with the latest happening in the world. And that's why our MBA program should be very, very rigorous, very thorough, and it should be up to date. And I'm not trying to compare just in India what is happening. When I'm talking this thing, it must be comparable with the best course curricula of the world. What a pedagogical change is required, because just having monologue type of thing or just dialogue type of thing is not really going to work much. The whole pedagogy is changing now. So how we are going to embrace those things, that's really important. Like in faculty recruitment, we have raised the bar. Similarly, in doctoral program, we have raised the bar. That in PhD, doctoral students cannot submit their thesis unless they fulfill the requirement of research. And that requirement is comparable with what is required for faculty selection. That is quality of paper published in a particular category of journal. So that people, when they talk of PhD program of IIM Jammu, say that, oh, you are from IIM Jammu, he must be really good. Because he's having already 2 papers published in top class journal. So that's really important. IPM we are starting. It has been, after thorough discussion, the whole structure has been designed. Once we complete 1 cycle, we'll come to know. Last evening, we had a meeting with the NTA, National Testing Agency. Our result is going to be announced soon for the test score only, not of IIM Jammu result. And to our surprise, that there are many institutions in India, they want to use GPMAT test score. So that many of them, because our idea was very clear from very beginning, that when we talk of Indore, they had their own test. Rohtak had their own test. We said that we will like to have a national level test, and it must be conducted and coordinated by NTA, National Testing Agency. So it's really important, and next year, many more institutions will be part of this test. SKDM MBA, it's the beginning, and I'm sure that will cross that milestone. So consolidating program is very much important. Third thing which is going to happen 28th, as I mentioned in the morning, we are signing a tripartite MOU, and it is going to be a milestone for all three institutions, whether it is IIM Jammu, whether it is IIT Jammu, or whether it is IIMS Jammu. For the first time in the history of India, these three national level institutes, Institute of National Importance, will be coming together to sign an MOU. So 28th is the day, and this function is scheduled this will held at Convention Center. And Honorable Minister is going to be part of it. This morning, this Dr. Jitendra Singh, he will be the part of it. And through them, because right now, anybody who is appearing in GE, he or she will do BTech from IIT Jammu and directly will coming for MBA program at IIM Jammu. In last 5 years' time, we have very limited number of graduates from IIT. I don't want to talk about the numbers and all this thing, but here is this thing that we are going to have this thing very soon. Likewise, during COVID time, it was a very difficult time. While resources were there, but there was poor management, poor administration of hospital. Resources were there, but it was not properly managed. So AIMS is offering a course on MS in hospital administration. Their technology part is there, full of management part is there, and of course, medicine administration, medicine side is there. So they will be spending 1 year with IIM Jammu. They will start course at AIMS, and partly for technology part, they will be doing at IIT Jammu. So this is again a new thing which we are trying, and there are many such programs which are going to happen. And idea is that this will be a message for the whole country, for the nation, that look, all the Institute of National Importance, wherever they are located, they must come together, work together, and offer programs which benefit the society, which benefits the nation. And that's really important for all of us. We have many partners, and many requests are coming that is it possible to have dual degree? For dual degree, there are certain conditions. We'll work it out, and we'll try to see this thing, that which are the universities which are really good for us, with whom we can have dual degree program. So we are looking at all possible options, and very soon we'll be coming out with that. Fifth point is that we would like this thing, that number of international past partners must increase. And 1/3 of class must go under exchange program without paying any tuition fee. If the day we are able to achieve that, it will be a great thing. So we are just looking for that which are the partners and how many students can go. Because right now we have 14 partners with around 50, 60 students can go under exchange program. But we would like to see this thing, that 1/3 of class should be going under exchange program. This subject is very close to my heart, that the class, how it should be structured and how it should be represented. I will feel very happy the day we have 50% students as female students. If we're able to achieve that and try to celebrate. Ladkiyon karke, you should feel happy that, okay, look, because we have made a lot of changes in admission policy, but we would like to see this thing, that the day we are able to achieve 50% of our female students, that is really required for this nation. Next point is our target should be in coming years that 80% should be national faculty and 20% should be international faculty. We are having faculty members, adjunct professors we are having. I would like to see them physically here full time. So maybe in coming 5 years or 10 years or 15 years down the line, IIM Jammu should have minimum 20% international faculty members all the time. And when we talk of that 1/3 of class should be going under exchange program, similarly, we would like that similar number or matching number of students should be coming to IIM Jammu. So that when international students are coming to IIM Jammu, you understand this thing that, like say, you feel very happy, you come to know about the culture, the country, the different courses, the teaching pedagogy, the type of industry they have. So all these things you come to know about this. And you best part is that you learn how to work in a cross-cultural environment, which cannot be really taught. Professors can give you lectures on that. But one has to really experience that how to work in a cross-cultural environment. And that's why we would like this thing, that more and more international students should be coming to IIM Jammu and our students should be going abroad. And once we do that thing, it will be very good. Research is very close to our heart. And, like say, very soon, I have mentioned to all faculty members, very soon, probably B category class publication will go once for all. So I have to just announce the date that when it is going to be. Only 3 category will be accepted, whether it is for faculty recruitment, whether it is for PhD program. And we have to raise the bar. And these journals should be FT50, A star, and A. No B category. The way we closed C category once for all, similarly, sooner or later, we are going to close this B category journal. So I would like this thing, all our faculty members and PhD students, please start thinking in those terms. Please don't come and say this thing that I was not at all aware of. There will be a formal circular for that. But the day it is circulated, that means it is a day of implementation. So definitely we are going to increase the research standard of IIM Jammu. We are going to, because it is very much required for international accreditation and it is very much required for international ranking. So research output in top class journal is very much required. And it enhances your credibility also. It enhances your branding. It enhances your market value. And you are doing all these things at the cost of IIM Jammu. On top of that, you are getting very, very fat incentive. This on 15th of August, you have seen this thing that all of you have received a lot of, and I would like this thing that the spread should be more and more. More and more. And if you are having publishing in these journals, this will help us to generate research grant from both national agency and international agency. Because they ask, what is the quality of publications your faculty have? And if your faculty members are having top class publications, they consider it. And when I talk of research grants, these are not small grants, that few $100,000 or few thousand rupees. No, it's not like that. It's a huge research grant I'm talking about. Then we have to start Center for Excellence. And this morning, Honorable Minister has given a cue, and we must start working very soon. Center for Public Policy. Because I think that this is one area, if we really want to work with the government. So we'll have a meeting with Honorable Minister. We'll be approaching to Department of Personnel and Training, DOPT, and we'll try to work on this. But before that, we have to start the working paper on that, this concept paper of that. For international accreditation and ranking, we have already started the process. It's a matter of time. Partnership and collaborations. As I mentioned in the beginning, that we have to increase the number of partners, number of collaborations. And as a professor from Deakin University or professor from University of Bradford were talking about, that besides organizing conferences, we have to get into research. meaningful research, faculty exchange. Because student exchange is the easiest thing to do. Today we sign, tomorrow our students can go under exchange program. But what's important is that faculty exchange, which should lead to research, collaborative research or joint research that should lead to publishing in top class journals. Like say, we have to be financially independent. Though IIM Jammu has made all necessary arrangements that when 31st of March 2023, the government stops giving grant to IIM Jammu for revenue expenditure. IIM Jammu should be able to stand on their own feet. And I feel very happy to inform all of you that IIM Jammu has already started working in that direction. What is required at this point of time is that we have to increase the source of revenue generation. Besides fee, we have to increase more and more training programs, management development programs, executive development programs, advanced management programs. We have to increase that. I feel very happy that things have started moving. We have to give impetus to it. There are a lot many online training programs we have started with eruditus. Likewise, probably we have to have more partners and more programs. And this is the future, because when we talk of training programs or executive development programs, this is the future. So probably we have to ensure this thing that this becomes one of the major sources of revenue generation. And second is that consulting services. Consulting services is very much important, and we must write good proposals to all different ministries, international proposal, national proposal, whatever it is, but we must try to do this thing. And, like say, it's important that when we do all these things, the contribution of each and every faculty member is very much important. Our institution is built around only two things. I keep saying this thing, the quality of faculty members and quality of the students. Our faculty interviews again started yesterday. We had interview, again coming days we are having interviews, and we are very, very choosy and selective in picking now faculty members. But we have a critical mass with us, but what is important is that we should be having good number of faculty members who can make difference to the society. We can really make difference to the institute. And let me tell you this thing, that institute will provide all possible help and support to every individual faculty if they come out with a definitive proposal. Money is not at all the constraint. Let me tell you this thing. Nobody should be coming and telling this thing, and all of you have experienced that thing. That is my responsibility. As a director of the institute, that is my responsibility to ensure that, okay, whatever best services, best facilities available in any of the IIM should be available at IIM Jammu. That is my responsibility. But what is expected from all of you is that please deliver whatever you are committing to. So there shouldn't be any compromise with academic excellence. There shouldn't be any compromise with the quality publications. And once we do these two things, the rest of the things will automatically follow. Second point is that when we talk of quality of students, when our placement becomes good, when our students are starting their own venture or becomes an entrepreneur, or whether they are going for higher education, whatever it is, it's really important. I was talking to Professor Javir Ali, and I told him that probably in days to come, we will have an open session with all the students, that they should know that what is expected from out of them, how they should be adding value to the institute, and whatever help, support, or guidance is required by any individual student, the institute will always be there to support. So it's your family. So anything you want to share, please go to any of the faculty members, administration. They are there to take care of those things. I'm sure that this, whatever we have spoken, we have set very high standards. And we will continuously raising the bar. And once we achieve that thing, there is no reason why IIM Jammu cannot be one of the finest business schools in the world. So let's celebrate and enjoy. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Your words were truly inspiring. These 5 years have been wonderful. We could achieve much of what we dreamed and planned. To present our achievements in the tangible form, we are releasing a brochure on this wonderful occasion, and I request our Honorable Director, Professor B.S. Sahay, to release the digital form of the brochure.
Okay, I think that wonderful job done by Professor Jabir Ali, Dr. Burhan, and Mr. Sailesh Lohia, librarian. He's always doing great job. Okay, so let's enjoy.
Thank you, sir. Now we have with us Shri Biswaru Basu, President Institute of Cost Accountants of India. CMA Biswaru Basu is a fellow member of the Institute of Cost Accountants of India and an alumnus of South Point High School, Kolkata. He started his professional career in 1985 as a management trainee in a multinational company of repute, and thereafter joined Bharat Coking Coal Limited in 1988 as finance officer. Subsequently, he joined a wholly owned company of the government of West Bengal in a senior position where he served for 29 years. He has a total stint of 34 years of industrial exposure. I take this opportunity to welcome him to enlighten us with his words.
A very good evening to all of you. Honorable Chief Guest Dr. Arun Mehta, Chief Secretary Government of Jammu and Kashmir, Dr. Milind Kamble, Chairman DOG IIM Jammu, Professor B.S. Sahay, Director IIM Jammu, C.S. Navendra Rao, President Institute of Company Secretaries of India, Lieutenant Colonel Emil Sharma, retired, former CAO IIM Jammu, Dr. Mukbil Burhan, Chairperson Srinagar of Campus IIM Jammu, my respected faculty members, my beloved students, officials, and other participants attending this virtual event. Ladies and gentlemen, a very good afternoon to all of you. It is my proud pleasure and honor to address you all on this very auspicious day of celebrating 5 successful years of journey of Indian Institute of Management, Jammu, youngest of all IIMs in the country. Learning gives creativity, creativity leads to thinking, thinking provides knowledge, knowledge makes you great. When learning is purposeful, creativity blossoms. When creativity blossoms, thinking emanates. When thinking emanates, knowledge is fully lit. When knowledge is led, economy flourishes. On behalf of the Institute of Cost Accountants of India, I congratulate IIM Jammu, its management, faculty members, officials and students on successful completion of productive 5 years of its establishment. This occasion also gives us an opportunity to take stock of our achievements and to rededicate ourselves to face the new challenges that lie ahead. The scope and challenges for any institute are enormous. However, with the support from all stakeholders, IIM Jammu is setting a new standard in education. We at the Institute of Cost Accountants of India are happy to be a part of this journey and cherish our partnership with IIM Jammu to promote excellence inter alia in common areas of interest, imparting knowledge and skills required to operate in the areas of academia, research and training to facilitate our members and students towards achieving the highest level of capacity building. IIMs, being an institution of national importance in our country, serve as a pivotal player in developing highly skilled personnel. IIM Jammu has been set up with the aim to empower the youth for building a powerful India. IIM Jammu has set high standards for outstanding value-based quality education, high-quality research, executive education, consultancy, and strong corporate as well as international linkages. The institute is striving for leadership role in carrying out research and higher education relevant to the nation's economic growth. IIMs has the best faculties in the nation. Once you enter IIM, you would get to know the difference between the teaching in an IIM and those in an average institute. It also offers international exposure to its students, thus improving their personality and skills. Management education in India in recent times has achieved a lot of significance, with the country being exposed to liberalization, privatization, and globalization. Keeping our global going aspiration in view, countries' strength is basically the intellect manpower. The relationship with the rest of the world can be expanded by a host of strategic issues like energy, access to market, technology, and security. We can connect these aspirations by providing the management education with a focus to grow entrepreneurs. Business schools like IIMs to provide training through entrepreneurial education to foster economic development. Change is the essence of civilization. Old order changes, building place to be. With the changing scenario, globally managers have to play a bigger role in society and its development. Therefore, schools have to provide the right education and training for the managers of tomorrow. Business education will give and teach all the things that are essential to make you a good manager and skills that are important to augment the efficiency and productivity of the organization. Imbibing entrepreneurial skills in business management, students will develop an entrepreneurial culture in the country. Management education has brought many benefits for every aspect of our being, including society, organization, and individual level. Beyond the contributions achieved by the research, management education has developed programs that facilitate nourishment of much needed entrepreneurial ventures and programs such as incubators that facilitate help for the new business and technology. Management education offers all necessary tools to equip one with the necessary techniques of successfully handling various business and management related issues. Basic tools which will enable you to make contributions to global economy. Moreover, industry is demanding managerial talent that is equipped with new age capabilities. The overall is likely to comprehensively to reform the design, content, and the delivery of management education in the country. The success of any business school depends on how quickly they preempt the change and adapt to the evolving requirements. Ones that proactively assess the changing industry needs, collaborate with other institutions, and devise innovative programs will emerge as winners. We all know that IIM Jammu has set high standards from the day one, focusing on designing practice-oriented learning and contemporary industry-focused curricula, striving for leadership role in carrying out research and higher education relevant to the nation's economic growth. IIM's Jammu with the vision to develop leaders and entrepreneurs who can perform globally to make a valuable difference to the society and the corporate world is on the right track to position itself as one of the top business schools in India with a global outlook embedded with a regional and national focus. It was wonderfully organized event, valuable message from the chief guest, Honorable Education Minister Sri Dharmendra Pradhanji, and participation of the Honorable Union Minister of State, Dr. Jitendra Singh Ji, as guest of honor, followed by panel discussions on very pertinent topics by galaxy of distinguished speakers sharing their views on strengthening collaboration for academic excellence, encouraging industry and alumni engagement, and creating social impact and governance. And now, in the concluding part, we have the gracious presence of Dr. Arun Mehta, Chief Secretary, Government of Jammu and Kashmir. At the end, I must congratulate IIM Jammu successful completion of 5 years of its journey and wish all success in all its endeavors in years to come. Before I put a full stop here, I pay my tribute to Rabindranath Tagore. I slept and dreamt that life was joy. I awoke and saw that life was service. I acted and behold, service was joy. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir, for your wise words. Now, I'm pleased to announce that we also have with us our ex-Chief Administrative Officer, Lieutenant Colonel Madan Lal Sharma, who has played a great role in the 5 years journey of IIM Jammu. So, sir, we would like you to please say a few words and share your experiences. Thank you.
Thank you. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Respected Dr. Milind Kamleji, Honorable Chairman, Board of Governor, IIM Jammu, Shri Dandekarji, former Honorable Governor of IIM Jammu, Professor B.S. Sahay, Director IIM Jammu, Honorable members of Board of Governors, faculty members, officers, staff, and my dear students. Jai Hind and very good evening. Kindly accept my heartiest congratulations on this 5-year journey of IIM Jammu, which we are celebrating today. And it is my pleasure that Director Sir has given me an opportunity to be a part of this function today. The first MBA batch, the inaugural and the orientation ceremony of this batch started at IIM Lucknow campus, IIM Lucknow Noida campus 5 years ago, when the present campus was under renovation. However, within a few months, that is by November 2016, the students' academics started in the permanent campus. What you see the campus today, the old one, the main block and the academics block was renovated that times. And I had been a part of IIM Jammu for I was a part of IIM Jammu for 3 years. That is from December 2017 till last year, August. I have 2 years under the leadership of Professor B.S. Sahay, Director IIM Jammu. There was a sea change when he came in the IIM Jammu as a founder director, and we started working on the new things which was supposed to be done. The land was being acquired, and the rest of the thing has to be started. And it was a very fast pace, which he started with, and he has his vision, mission, and core value of the institute very, very clear, which was later approved by the Board of Governors. But he started with those visions and the mission, of course, followed by the core values. So it was a long journey when the institute started with 47 students, and today we stand with 500 students in the campus. So this shows the progress IIM Jammu has made in the last 5 years. And there are few challenges which are there for an institute in the formative years, like IIM Jammu, presently in a formative years. So which generally I take it as the recruitment. When the founder director took over the institute, we have a very limited faculties, and they gradually moved out. And today you see the number of faculty, you have 30 faculties plus around 6 adjunct professors all over the world. So with that, we have a global faculty today. And the staff was a very thin staff, but we got a very thin organization that time. And today we, I believe, have an adequate staff, and things are moving. We have a very limited campuses. We just have 140 beds for the students. And today, I believe, with this campus, we have around 340s. And when I look at the campuses, last 5 years, the old university campuses was one, and the additional campuses which was acquired and was done up within 3 months. The chief engineer of CPWD, Mr. Anand Kumarji, was very kind, and was very much part of IIM Jammu team to build up this campus. And this campus came up for the enhancement of the student strength. But when now you look at the campus, the IIM Jammu campus actually starts from transit campus, or you can call it temporary campus, Daluchak to Srinagar, that is Nagaon bypass and the Panthachong land which has been acquired. But I was going through the today's function. Soon we are going to have another campus which will be at Ladakh. So we will have a campus spread over nothing less than 500 to 700 kilometers. So you can see the domain of IIM Jammu spreading so high. So this is what has been prospered last 5 years by IIM Jammu. The second challenge comes is the infrastructure, which I was telling you. When you have the infrastructures, where the temporary campuses now and the hired new campuses, Srinagar hired campuses, but the permanent campus coming up, a lot of effort has been put in by the honorable directors. Yes, I think worked 24 into 365 for this. Of course, we were his, subordinates to work with him, and which he guided us very well. We used to sit late night, and when the layout plan was finalized, I requested one day when the architect was there, I said, shall I take the architect on ground and place the plan on the ground at Shakti? And actually, when I took Mr. Raman Sikkaji there, so he placed the plan on the hilltop, and he started telling me, sir, this will be chopped up, this will be chopped up, and we are going off grid. So he again, put the grid at the place where it was supposed to be, and I think I'm very sure that the campus is going to come up one of the best campus in the IIMs. Especially the third generation IIMs who are constructing their new campuses. Of course, first generation, they have their old campuses. So a lot has happened, a lot has changed. But with these two things, you look for the intake of the students. That is the third challenge, to have a good intake of the students. Today we have 500 students. That excludes the IPM starting and your executive MBAs and other programs. So it is a very healthy state, and IIM Jammu has done a wonderful job in last 5 years. Once again, courteous congratulations to IIM Jammu. And I was a part of IIM Jammu, and I am a part of IIM Jammu. Anything which I could be of any assistance to IIM Jammu, I'm always available. And it's very close to my art since I'm a son of soil also, and had been working with the institute with a lot of support by all my colleagues, and they have given me too much importance everywhere. So thank you very much, and thank you very much to everyone. Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir. Your contributions have played an important role in the success of IIM Jammu. Like a true soldier, you put service before self. Now, I would request Dr. Mukbil Burhan, Chairperson Srinagar of campus, IIM Jammu, to deliver the vote of thanks.
Thank you, Ritika. Thank you, Indrajit. Good evening, everyone. Before I give this vote of thanks, it always happens that whenever I'm being asked to deliver the vote of thanks towards the end, the chief guest says that I'm not coming. It always becomes an informal one. So I continue with that informality because I consider this as an opportunity and a blessing in disguise that we become a little more informal in discussing things. Now that we are going towards the closing of this function, a wonderful function, which is very close to us because we are celebrating 5 years. It's very important to understand that every building that we make is always based on certain pillars. Ours is also based on specifically 4 pillars. One is a leadership where we have Director Sir with us. We have faculty, we have wonderful faculty members here who always work day in, day night to make this institute a wonderful institute. And on the other side, we do have wonderful staff officers and staff members. And then we have students. All of us together make this place a wonderful institution, and we dream of bigger things. Now, we heard from Director Sir, we heard from people who have been associated with this institute in the past, who have contributed wonderfully. We heard from the faculty members also, students also more often hear from us, but we generally miss an opportunity to hear from the staff officers who always have a wonderful contribution in making this institute a wonderful place. So I will not miss that opportunity. I think that now that we've been a little informal, we have an internal system here, and I do not need to spend too much time on thanking people, because we all know that the contribution has been from everyone. From top to bottom, everyone has worked all the time, 24/7. Director Sir always says that we are 24/7 on job, and that's the fact. And it doesn't apply just to the faculty, it applies to the staff also. Staff officers are here. I can see some of them here, but it doesn't mean that others have not contributed. But it would be a nice opportunity to hear from them also, have listen to them, maybe some couple of words. Maybe we start with our FSU, Rajat ji, who has always contributed wonderfully in making this institute wonderful. He has always given us wonderful thought-provoking things, also ideas which we had to think over. And he has always worked side by side with us to implement, particularly, not just in planning mode. Something from you. So we started, and I'm taking, sir, Director Sir, I'm taking this as a liberty here. Sure.
Thank you, Dr. Burhan. First of all, I like to congratulate all of you on this 5-year successful journey of IIM Jammu. IIM Jammu is you can say that the work that we have done in the last 3 years is tremendous, and work for day and night, 24/7, all time, either on call, either on con call, either on Google Meet or whatever it is. Everybody worked too hard for this successful journey and contribute a lot. I wish, and I will be the happiest person when IIM Jammu will be in the global ranking. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Rajatji. Shailaji, we would love to hear from you also, our librarian who has always been a great support to the Institute.
Good evening. Good evening. Thank you, Dr. Boran. So it has been a wonderful journey since my association last 2.5 years with the organization. And I have seen IIM Jammu in an initial stage in a small and under construction building to this beautiful transit campus. When I say that beautiful transit campus, it means we have grown, we have put the best effort to make it this small transit campus in a very beautiful shape. Not only the campus part, but in terms of the quality of students, quality of faculty, quality of library resource. Obviously, because I am a librarian, so I cannot leave this library resource part. So we are increasing at everyone is contributing. So we are a youngest IIM, but ultimately we are IIM and our standard is very high. We are trying to reach up to that highest level so that we will be counted as one of the best globally, best management institution in the globe. So my best wishes, and I congratulate to all of you, including me, for celebrating this 5-year journey of IIM Jammu, and hope we will have a very successful journey ahead. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Shailaji. Now, when we talk about MBA, it doesn't go without PGP. We have Aroopji here, a wonderful support to the Institute, who has always been there, contributing in one or the other way. Aroopji, I would love to hear from you also.
Thank you so much. Very good evening, everybody. And it gives me immense pleasure today to stand in front of all of you and speak on the 5th anniversary of IIM Jammu. I feel proud today to stand in front of you and speak. The reason being, I completed my 1 year of service last month, that is July 16th. And when I joined IIM Jammu, I never thought that I will continue 1 year. The reason being, I came in peak Corona. And that time when I landed, I was just rushed to Katra for quarantine. And then people were behaving in such a way as if I am the most biggest untouchable person on the whole world. They didn't touch my luggage. They just threw me in a bus, a government bus to Katra. There also, I was fully wet with sanitizer, and I was just feeling, where did I come? I left my wife, left my daughter, and I was feeling, where did I come? Is it the journey from Bangalore where I was in a heaven? I came to Jammu like this. Then when I finished my quarantine, and then when I joined, the first interaction with the director, and then that time our Madan Lal Sharma ji was there, and the way he interacted, he took me around the campus, and then all the faculty members, that time the interactions that we had was amazing. And that gives the first love towards the organization when the interaction becomes very strong with the members of a given place. I remember I first went to Professor Zabir's room, and then we had an interaction. Then we spent around 5-10 minutes in understanding what was I. He gave his insight. Then we went to all faculty members. We went to FSEO, library, and then that bonding which started gave a complete confidence that this organization is in a development phase because people showed where they want to be. And then in this 1 year, the way the academic division, I talk about academics because I head the program office, and the policies that we made, you keep getting mails from me. The things that we made was something which is very different from other organizations. And I should really say, as a director, he has never let down, or he has never said that don't implement policies which are good for the organization. At times it comes hard to the students, At times it comes hard to many of the people in the organization, but then when we keep those policies intact, the organization develops. You see, over the last few years, the orientation programs, what you had previous to that year, all the programs, if you compare this year, the number of speakers were more than 30, which proves that we want to diversify and we want to bring more speakers. We are growing. That's the only thing that we are growing. The second part, if you see the preparatory program, you had 5 days preparatory program, 6 days. This time we had 9 days of preparatory program. We included IT and analytics, means we want to impart more skills to you. Maybe next year when your junior comes, we feel that something is more important. Topics on machine learning, big data analytics is more important. We would like to give those things to your juniors. We will include those also. So that is how the organization develops. I came to run MBA, but right now I have 4 programs under me, which is the Integrated Program in Management IPM, the Executive MBA, and the PhD. And we continuously work with each other to develop the best possible ways or the policies which makes the program operation, program administration runs. I believe 3 is very, very important for everybody. That is the education, experience, and the exposure. That is what I have learned in my career, my journey of education field, and my whatever I have done in my life. So you all get the best education, I agree. Whatever you do in this IIM is the experience and the exposure. So it is you who have to build upon this, and you have to be an ambassador to this institute, contribute not only in the 5th anniversary, 6th, 7th, 8th, till this institution is there, you have to come back and contribute. So I am sure IIM Jammu will celebrate sometimes the centenary celebrations, and we will not be there definitely, but then there will be some other batch, some other staff and director who would be sitting here and celebrating. And I wish all of you for that particular moment when we can say that IIM Jammu is there. Thank you.
Thank you, Arup ji. Now, see, when it comes to students who are here, they will always look for placements. And that's something which is very, very important to you. And this goes without saying. And we have Ranjan ji here who works day in and day night just to get placements for you. And he has a tremendous contribution in those terms. And apart from that also, he's been helping us in all the ways possible. Ranjan ji, we would like to hear from you also.
Good evening, everyone. So before starting for placements, I would start how I came to Jammu. Most of you know there are few committees that work with us, including IIC and Disha committee apart from placements. So they work very closely with me along with Jabir sir and Baljit sir. And I'm really thankful whatever number of companies or whatever contribution that we have made as a team. It is a holistic approach that we have followed. Talking about how I came to Jammu, it was a very long drive. I love driving. So it was a long drive from Lucknow to Jammu. And I covered it in a day and a half time. And I was supposed to reach here by 5 p.m. And I was supposed to be in the campus the next day. And before that, I was supposed to be in the guest house. So I'm thankful to ML Sharma ji. That was my first interaction. I got late. I reached Jammu almost at around 11 o'clock. It was raining heavily. ML Sharma sir coordinated with other staff members and made sure that I was comfortable here. That was my first experience with IIM Jammu. Before this, I have not worked with any of the IIMs, although I have worked with institutes which are of very high ranked institutes, including NMIMS and MDI. which I very proudly say that I share the same institutes with our director, sir, although not at the same times. Director, sir, has been director for almost 15 years. If you go to his LinkedIn profile, you will come to know. 17 हो गई. So we are very lucky that we have someone in our institute leading us who has been doing this work again for the last 17 years. I correct, sir. I correct myself. I thank you. I thank all of you, not only my colleagues, faculty members who have been very kind, chairpersons of almost every part of Parida sir, who has been always helpful in any of the work that we require in terms of placements. PGP, I would say we have a very love and hate relationship because we have placements, which is we feel it's the most important, and PGP feels that classes should be important. Of course, both goes hand in hand. So we have to ensure that we do not disturb the classes and continue with the placements. So at the end, I would like to thank everyone who has been part of, and whoever I have missed here. We would continue this journey, and as has been said before, that we would be celebrating the centenary years, whether with us or without us, but IIM Jammu will be celebrating for sure. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Now, see, when Colonel Sharma is here, when he left, we were a little worried that no, can someone like him come who has been working so hard and helping us to reach to a level where we are, or even pushing us to a level where Colonel Sharma, if I'm sure that since students are new here, they don't not know, some of the faculty members know that he was almost every time in the campus. And then we were worried, can somebody even replace him? And then for certain reasons, Colonel Sharma had to go. He had some other priorities also. He had spent quite a time here in the campus with the institute, contributed a lot. But then we equally had a wonderful CEO who joined us in the form of Commander Keshwanji. He, in fact, when we see him working, it always gives us a new kind of an energy. To see someone working day in, day night, and even pushing us hard to contribute. We would love to hear from you, sir. This is the occasion. This cannot happen without our past CEOs and the current CEO. That where we exactly are and where we are going to be.
This wonderful occasion, first of all, I must thank Director Sir for making me come to IIM Jammu. Very few people take up a job the way I felt when I got the appointment letter. Most of us just say yes and then land up here. I flew down a day before, I got an intimation from Rajat saying, "Sir, aisa hai." So I flew down to see what is the workload for me. I checked up the workload, had a 2 hours meeting with director, went back, and then I sent acceptance of my offer letter. Now, how many of you know how the giraffe is born and how the action takes place after that? When giraffe gives birth to the kid giraffe, I don't know, whatever you call it, the first thing the giraffe does is the mother giraffe kicks the giraffe and kicks it with full force so that the giraffe baby runs to be away from all the dangers. I landed on 24th of November. My joining was around 25th or 25th. But the moment I landed in guest house, I got a call saying, "Come to Jagti." I was whole day till 6 o'clock. I was in Jagti, no incoming, nothing. But I was walking up the hills along with Director Sir. And that was a good, solid kick for me to see what's the work ahead. So after that, things have been as wonderful colleagues, wonderful staff. We have been recruiting staff, the director has been pushing, everything is moving on. And I hope we have a good staff in another 3 to 4 months. And our faculty strength also is complete with this recruitment process. Now, two things before I close. One is, life is not a midsummer's dream. Neither it's a tale of two cities. It's a comedy of errors in which we play as we like it. So you must understand that we all have to contribute, and that contribution is all, intangible, tangible. It will be a wonderful for this organization, whether as a student, whether faculty, staff, and even the housekeeping members. Each one of them are contributing. Your day-to-day staff are taking care. Now, thank you very much. And Jai Hind, let's all work together for a better future. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Although now, since we are coming closer to the end, I know it's been a Sunday, and it doesn't go without saying thank you to the students for bearing with patience, being here and listening carefully. And it goes without saying, a lot of cheers for all of you. And I wish you were as enthusiastic at the time also, would have been more motivating to us. Now, I even open this house for the discussion also. If anybody wants to say anything, we do have some Bluetooth mics, which we had kept basically for that. And all right. All right. So we have our company secretary president who was supposed to join us earlier, but due to certain reasons, he couldn't join us earlier because he was flying from Delhi to Bangalore. But now he has joined. He has some message for you, so we do not want to even miss that. It would be nice to have some words from him, and then we close. Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much. Am I audible?
Yes.
At the outset, let me wish IIM Jammu excellent 5 years online celebrations which have taken place. I'm sure I just landed to Delhi. The flight got delayed. I'm sorry, but I thought I should be a part of your celebration. At the outset, let me thank each and every one of you, and especially Sahay sir, for accommodating the Institute of Company Secretaries for the memorandum of understanding what we have signed. As known to you all already, we had couple of programs which we have done with IIM Jammu, and I am sure going ahead we will be doing many more programs for the benefit of all the students who are registered with the IIM Jammu, as well as the company secretaries who would also like to join IIM Jammu for the gracious the program which you have going to organize for the benefit of company secretaries, where certain concessions have been offered to the company secretary. I wish each and every one of the students who are present all the best for their future endeavor, and I am sure that you all are the leaders of tomorrow, and I am sure that you will take the Indian Institute of Management Jammu at a very, very high level. Thank you once again. I wish each and every one of you a greater success and your success, because Indian Institute of Management plays a very important role, leadership role for shaping the career, not only the careers, but shaping the nation as a whole. And I am sure that with your consultative, with your leadership role at the helm of the affairs, you all are going to take not only the Indian Institute of Management Jammu, but also the nation to a great height. And I'm sure the vision and mission of our beloved Prime Minister of attaining the $5 million trillion economy, you are going to achieve those particular things by playing your pivotal role as in of the leadership. I once again wish each and every IIM Jammu students all the best, and I am sure you are going to not only shape your careers, but you are going to shape the careers of all those employees who are going to work under you, and you're going to lead by example. Thank you once again for inviting me for this particular program. Again, apologies for the delay for coming to you online to IIM Jammu. Thank you. All my best wishes.
Thank you, Nagender Raoji, President, Institute of Company Secretaries of India. And it's so nice to have him here despite, just landing in Delhi. He could still, be a part of this journey. It's important that all our partners are important for us. You heard about partnerships, you heard about collaborations. They are important. Now, before I close, just one word for the students, and I'll not leave without saying this. Generally, whenever people get old, they always say that it's a time that you take up the torch now. Now we have grown old. It's been a kind of for at least 1 year, unfortunately, because of this COVID, that what happens is that faculty members have been taking up the programs or events, which is not generally a case in IIMs. That should not happen. I understand that COVID has created a different situation, but this is the time that you stand up and start taking a lead in organizing these events. We have a wonderful leader in the form of Director Sir who always gives his support, and you will never hear no when you want to organize the programs. So please come up. This is the time that you take a lead and start organizing the events and be the leaders that we want to see you as future leaders. I'm sure that these programs are yours. We have been saying that we had a discussion yesterday also where I said that whenever you leave the place, you are called alumni. But that specific tag is for students, not for the teachers, not for the staff, not for anyone. We have been a part of many organizations, but we do talk about that with a lot of pride, but we are still not called as alumnus of that place. You will always be the alumnus of this institute. The celebrations that we have today, whatever we are celebrating today is for you. And it always, whenever we celebrate something, it's basically to just say that we are up for a journey. This is just a beginning. And this beginning is for you. Now that you are back here, I'm sure that because of COVID, because of these distant kind of relationships that we had, these things had happened that we couldn't organize these events. But right now, let's take a pledge that students are going to organize the events, many more, and we all are going to be a part of that. That is very important, because unless and until that is there, you are not going to grow as the leaders as we want. Thank you very much. Before I close, I just want to thank a couple of people, although there was a long list, but then since we it was very important that we hear from other people. We had a wonderful support, first in the form of Director Sir, who in fact thought of this idea that we celebrate 5 years. And in fact, celebrations are important because that actually gives us an energy to say that, yes, we are up for much more events, much more longer journey. This journey is up and we are there. And this vision came from Director Sir. We had wonderful teachers, faculty members, staff who in fact said yes to this. And we had a support from many senior faculty members, particularly Jabir Sir, who in fact, yesterday also, I dropped him a message at around 2, and he was in fact working that time also on the presentation and the things. We have other faculty members who were there. Dr. Abhishek, always there with his team, IT team. And you better know that during these COVID times, how difficult it has been, specifically for healthcare sectors and IT people, and bank, obviously. And our relationship was that all of our working was dependent on the IT team, and they have done a wonderful, wonderful job. And I think they need a big applause from all of us. And then we have our administrative department who have always been there with a wonderful kind of support that they have given to us. CEO Sahab, along with his team, Wabo and others who have always been there, who in fact know working till late hours, purchase orders is not that easy. You guys, when you get into this, will see that how much of a background work is there when it comes to getting these orders done, getting these work orders done, and then doing things perfectly. We have Shashank here, his team, but before I thank him, we have our accounts department. No, we have to clear these bills and other things also. And then Rajatji and his team is there. We have Shami Saab here. He has been here since the morning, listening to all of us and contributing from. In fact, I'm so sorry I missed Shami Saab. I didn't realize Shami Saab is here, and we would love to hear from you also. Shami Saab, please. And to all of you, Shami Saab has been the chief engineer with CPWD at a very, very big post. Despite that, he is always ground to earth and helping us. Over to you, sir.
Good evening, everyone. I'm your institute engineer. Whatever post I am having, I'm your institute engineer. So my work yet to start at Jagti. Some buildings are at a ground level. Yes. No, I'll do my level best. I'll assure you. Whatever I learned during last my 38 years of service. Yes, we are committed, sir. We are committed, and very first important. 22 will be. Let me explain little the hostel. No. I'm factually progress. I'm telling you. I'm not faking anything. Hostel has come up to second floor. We are preparing for third floor. So that is the progress as on date. The academic block, some of the foundation has been laid. Some are a little delayed because of COVID and this rains. And I'm sure by June we'll be ready by hostel and academic block, and a dining block is a small building. So these three buildings are targeted to be completed by June 22. Rest of the building will be able to complete as scheduled in November 22. That's it. Yes, correct. As a hostel building, there are 4 blocks for 600 students, and academic block and a dining block. And dining block, we are proposing to construct double story. As on date, it was for single story only. Since IPM student are also to join, so we'll have a make provision. And so technically, it's also feasible to construct just now at this stage. So nice of you. I'm also a part of your journey. For last 1 year, I joined last year, August. So I'm completing also 1 year. So all the best for the next year. Thank you very much.
Before I miss 2 important people, Sakina and Rishabh. They are here. Sakina ma'am, are you around? Yes, wonderful contribution from her. She has been here, in fact, no till late hours working to ensure that IT is there properly working. Because without internet, we could have done nothing. I mean, in no time, both of them, along with the with the leadership that we have in the form of Dr. Abhishek, they could manage everything.
Sorry for interruption, but we also now have co-chairperson IT, Professor Nitin.
I'm so sorry. No, generally, since we had this this trend of just looking at Abhishek and then forgetting the co-chairpersons. Whenever this is, although I mean that's my bad, and I apologize for this fact that many times we forget co-chairpersons. I'm so sorry, sir, about this. Professor Nitin is also here. Both of them, they make a wonderful team, and the team that in fact gives us the IT facilities that is there. You could see that I know that at times it does come up with certain glitches also, but you could see today's function also that even bigger institutes have these problems. IT load is too much and it does even affect the bandwidth. And although they have been working wonderfully on this to make sure that we have a wonderful and smooth IT facilities here. With this note, I close it here and I thank everyone who is here and who has been a part of a journey, and specifically my two wonderful students who always are there whenever, just at a moment that we tell them that we need you and they are here. Not just that, the students who came with Saraswati Vandana to the National Anthem, all of these students have been wonderful, and big cheers for the students again, for Indrajit, for Rishabh. Thank you, thank you everyone.
Thank you, sir. May I now request everyone to please rise for the National Anthem.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड़ उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तब शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तब जय गाथा जन गण मंगल दायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे.
Can I have a photograph of faculty first and then with students?